What is up, YouTube? I am back with another deck profile, and today we got the zippy zappy dog himself, Jolteon VMAX. Let's get right into this deck profile. Starting off the deck profile, we have Jolteon VMAX, the main attacker, really the only attacker in the list. It has one attack, Max Thunder Rumble, for a lightning colorless. It does 100 damage. This attack does 100 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that have any damage counters on it. Very good. It has free retreat as well. This guy slaps up Sobbles and Drizzles. It can two-shot Vs, and it usually takes out 2 Vs at a time. Very good. We are playing 3 copies of this card. Following up that, we need to evolve it from something, and we are playing Jolteon V. Usually never attack with this. It is pretty good on its own if you're in a pinch. It does have Thunder Spear, the first attack, which is the most useful for a colorless. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's great if you're going to follow up with Max Thunder Rumble, but usually if you leave this in the active, it's probably getting knocked out due to the current meta and how fast and hard Pokemon hit. We are playing 4 copies, as we do want to start with this since it does has free retreat and it is our main attacker. So we are sticking with the 4 copies. Next up, we have Intelion. We are playing 2 copies of the quick shooting Intelion, basically for the ability. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. This does hit the bench as well as the active, so it works in synergy with Max Thunder Rumble on Jolteon VMAX. And we have 2 copies of this Intelion. Next up, we are also playing the other Intelion. When you evolve this Pokemon, you can search your deck for 2 trainer cards. Very good. Usually you can search, I like to search for a Cheryl and energy search, which you'll see in the list later on, or you can find other cards that you need, but usually that's what I get with this card. Following the 2 Intelions, we need to evolve from something, and we have Drizzile, Shady Dealings. When you evolve this Pokemon, you search your deck for 1 trainer card, so it's a bit weaker than the Shady Dealings Intelion, but you have to wait 1 less turn to evolve into it. We are playing 4 copies of this guy, as it's very good. Usually only play 2 or 3, but you just run 4 just because you want to draw into this card as much as possible. Again, you need to evolve from something, so we are playing Sobble. We are playing the Rapid Strike one, as there's no need to play a different one. The Keep Calling attack, if you start this, you can keep calling for 3 more, and then they're out of your deck, and if you draw into Drizziles, you can evolve right away. So this is the one we are playing. We are playing 4 copies, as I don't see why you would play 3 or less. And the last Pokemon we play, you don't see too often. It is Galerion Zigzagoon with the Headbutt Tantrum ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So like the quick shooting, we have to evolve. This one is just straight from our hand to our bench, 1 damage. And that's all we need to use the second effect of Jolteon VMAX's attack, where you do 100 to the bench. We are playing 2, as in case we prize 1. You only usually want to bench 1 of these during your game early, because you can use the quick shooting Intelion later on to get the damage ping. So starting off our trainers, we have Path to the Peak. Pokemon in play with a rule box have no abilities. Pokemon V, GX have rule boxes. Basically, since we play no Pokemon with a rule box that have abilities, we can abuse this card as it doesn't affect us. It does affect our opponent, whether it's Genesect, Crobat, Lumineon, or any other ability, or even Starbirth as well. This card is very good. I have Path to a Peak bricked my opponent a few games here and there. We are playing 4 copies as we want to see it as fast as possible. And if our opponent relies on Vs with an ability, we want to have this in play as much as possible so we can hopefully brick them. The next supporter we play is Marnie. Each player shuffles their hand, puts it on the bottom of their deck. The player that played this draws 5 and your opponent draws 4. Very good card. We are playing 4 copies of this card, as we like to Marnie, Path of the Peak our opponents and hope they brick. That is a very good game strategy right now, as a lot of decks rely on Vs with abilities. Next up, we are playing a supporter card you don't see too often, and that is Cheryl. Heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon. If you do, discard all energies from the Pokemon that were healed in this way. So basically, we have a card in this list called Elemental Badge. It takes 1 less energy cost from our Jolteon V and VMAX. So then effectively our Jolteon VMAX attacks for 1 energy. So we can just Cheryl, attach an energy, and then start swinging if we have the Elemental Badge in play. We play 2 copies of Cheryl. I like the 2 copies. I never thought I needed more. The only problem is when you have to discard a Cheryl during your turn or if one's prized. But I think I'm going to stick with the 2 copies. Next up, we have Boss's Orders. You switch one of your opponent's bench with their active. You get to choose. It is a supporter. Very standard card. We play 2 copies. I don't think I want to go up to 3 as I don't see there being room in the list. I do like the 2. I rarely use it, but when I do, you can always search it out as every card in this deck besides Speed Energy is searchable. So 2 copies of Boss's Orders is the way to go in this list. And the last supporter we play is Professor's Research. Discard your hand and draw 7. We play 2 copies. We don't really want to discard our hand with this list as we do want all our resources, but sometimes our hand's dead or sometimes we have no hand. And since we can search out a lot of cards, we can search this out easy. So we only play the 2 as we don't want it every turn. The first item we play in this list is Level Ball. Search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. Basically, this card is a straight search for Sobble, Drizzile, and Galerion Zigzagoon. Very good as those are all important pieces to the deck. We are playing 4 copies. The next item we play is Quickball. Discard 1 card from your hand, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Again, very good card as we do want to see our basics. It searches out Jolteon, Sobble, and Galerion Zigzagoon. So we essentially have 8 outs to Galerion Zigzagoon as we do play 4 copies of this card. The next item we play is Evolution Incense. Search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This searches out Jolteon VMAX, Drizzile, and both Intelions. Straight search, you don't have to discard anything from hand. So we are playing 4 copies of this card as well. The next item we are choosing to play is Elemental Badge. I talked about this earlier in the list. If the Pokemon V this card is attached to as Vaporeon, Jolteon, or Flareon in its name, its attacks cost colorless less. Very good card in this list especially. We play 3 copies. We can search it out whenever, so we don't need the full 4 to draw into it. Very good card. Next up, we play Scoop Up Net. Put one of your Pokemon that isn't a V or GX into your hand. Discard all cards attached. Basically, we can scoop up our Sobbles if they're in the active, Drizziles to put onto another Sobble, or what I like to use and what I mainly use it for is picking up Galerion Zigzagoons to then bench them down again. Very good card. Again, we only play 2 copies. I don't think I want to go up to a 3rd as it's not that useful in this list, but it's useful when it's needed. And that's why we only play 2 because we can search it out exactly when we want. And the last item card we play is Energy Search. Search your deck for basic energy, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. We are playing 2 copies of this card. Basically, we search out our basic lightning energies. So after we can Cheryl, use this card, search out a basic energy, and then attach with the Elemental Badge, start swinging, and we just healed all our damage. Very good card in this list. Starting off our energies, we are playing Speed Lightning Energy. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides a lightning energy. So you can't attach this to a non-lightning Pokemon. You just won't get the secondary effect. And the secondary effect is when you attach this card from your hand to a lightning Pokemon, draw 2 cards. Drawing 2 cards is phenomenal in this list, considering you can draw into Drizzile, Level Ball, Evolution Incense to get a Drizzile and then search out any other card. We are playing 4 copies of this card. Very good. The only downside to this card is there's no way to search it out in this list. And the final card we play in this list is 3 copies of basic lightning energy. We can search it out with Energy Search, which we can search Energy Search out with Drizzile, and we can search Drizzile out with Level Ball or Evolution Incense. Very searchable card. You just got to get the combo pieces. And we play the 3. I don't think I would go down to 2. I don't think I would go up to 4. I think 3 is an appropriate amount for this list. And that will do it for this deck profile. What did you think of it? What do you think of the list? Me personally, I'm a huge Huge fan of Jolteon VMAX, the whole deck. It's fast, it hits quick. I really like it. I would say it might be top 3 decks of this format for me. I'd say this one, Mew VMAX, and then Suicune V are probably my top 3 decks of this format. Thank you for watching. You can hit the description to see where I buy my Pokemon cards, as well as discount codes for the stores as well. And I'll see you in the next YouTube video.